So we're in the Big Willow drainage, which is in Unit 32, and we are catching elk, hopefully catching about 40 elk to transport them north to Unit 7. There's a group of 350 resident elk here and another 1,000 plus that join them during winter, and they're basically causing over $1 million worth of damage to farmers' crops in the area.
We are statutorily obligated to provide relief to these landowners for the damage that wildlife causes, that big game cause.
We're fortunate in Idaho to have an abundant elk population, and the distribution of that population has changed over time, and today we have a lot of elk interfacing with agricultural landscapes. So we're constantly looking for new tools and new ways to effectively deal with those conflicts, to minimize the cost to the landowner and yet keep our elk abundant as possible.
We have thrown everything at these elk to try and manage this issue, including a lot of hunters on these properties, and yet we're still not really getting a handle on it, so we are needing to take additional steps at this point. So what we're doing today is actually fairly novel for us. We haven't really employed trapping and translocation as part of our depredation response to date. And part of it is that we don't know how it's going to work, right? Catching elk is hard. It's stressful on both the people and the elk. Transport is stressful on the elk. And we don't really entirely know kind of what it's going to do on the other end. These elk have been used to living in croplands, which you can see around me here, and we're taking them to the forests of North Idaho. So in many ways, this is a bit of an experiment. We are testing this to see how it works, especially in situations where we have exhausted all of our other tools.
These elk were translocated to the upper St. Joe River country. This is a place that has experienced some recent wildfires, which has improved elk habitat. It's also a place where over the course of the last 2 decades, Fish and Game has done a lot to manage predators like black bears, mountain lions, and wolves. And so it is a place that's really congruent with this type of a project.
I'm really excited to see these elk released in the wild in the northern region. This has been a process that the commissioners have envisioned for about 7 years, and it kind of came to a reality with moving 34 elk from the southern part of the state. It's been a lot of work, a lot of planning on Fish and Game's part. They've done a wonderful job.
Now, we don't think the translocation itself is going to solve the depredation problem, but it's always good to learn the effects of what one more tool in the grander toolbox of depredation conflict prevention can get us.
My hope here would be that between translocating these elk, some lethal removal towards the end of summer, and continued hunter harvest on these elk, that we are able to get the damages moving into the future to a more manageable level.